Chapter 7 Marathon. The story you are about to hear is one of the world's greatest true adventures. We know the story because a Greek author named Herodotus interviewed people who took part in it. Our word history comes from the Greek word for investigation, and it was Herodotus, trying his best to get his facts straight, who first used the word in this way. So he's often called the father of history. Here is his most thrilling story, retold in shorter form. Sparta and Athens were as different as could be. One was a city built on war, on being closed off from the world, and on following a single way of thinking. The other was built on democracy, trade, and the exchange of ideas. Sparta used its military power to dominate its part of Greece. Athens' great influence began with peaceful sea trade throughout the Mediterranean, which in turn led Athens to build colonies, or new city-states, connected to Athens through laws and customs. Some Athenian colonies became wealthy themselves, including those built in the area the Greeks called Ionia, which ran along the west coast of Asia in what is today Turkey, 200 miles east of Athens across the Aegean Sea. But the success of these Ionian colonies soon led to trouble. Inland from them to the east lay the mighty Persian Empire. Originally, Persia had been a small area in the middle of what today is Iran, but a series of Persian kings turned the Persians and their allies, the Medes, into a highly disciplined, unstoppable army that conquered nation after nation until the kings of Persia ruled an enormous part of Western Asia. At last, a Persian king named Darius turned his hungry gaze upon the Greek colonies of Ionia. Now, at the time, democracy was still new in the world, only about 25 years old, but its success in Athens was inspiring other people to try it too. The Persian system was the opposite of democracy. King Darius had total power over every person in his empire. He could order the death of someone just because the king did not like that person, or even how that person dressed. To the Persians, the very idea of democracy seemed insane. When a traveler who had visited Greece reached the Persian court, King Darius's wife asked him, "Who rules these Greeks?" The traveler answered, "They rule themselves." The king and the queen literally could not understand how such a system could exist. Darius thought, "What if my subjects begin to think this way? I shall give the Ionian colonies the choice of bowing to me or of going to war against my vast army." Hearing of King Darius's threats, some of the city-states in mainland Greece sent soldiers to Ionia in case the Persians attacked. Darius was furious. He decided to conquer the Greek mainland too. "We will crush them and their democracy like ants." The terrifying news spread through Greece. The Persians are coming. Darius sent a fleet of 600 ships carrying soldiers and horses across the Aegean Sea to mainland Greece. As this army swept forward, cities in its path surrendered rather than face destruction. Then Darius's general moved toward Athens, which, as the main supporter of the Ionian colonies, was the Persians' chief target. The Persian route led across a wide, flat plain near a village called Marathon, about 30 miles from Athens. Here, the Greeks would have to make their stand. 10 Athenian generals, along with a civilian named Callimachus, who represented the civilian government, talked over what to do. One general said, "The plain of Marathon offers room for Persian horsemen to charge us, and nowhere for us to go to avoid their foot soldiers, whose numbers will overrun our troops. Besides, no one has ever defeated a Persian army." But another general named Miltiades said, "The Persians fight for a king who cares nothing for them. We fight for our freedom and the freedom of our children. That is worth something in battle. Let us send to Sparta for help." The Spartans are the greatest fighters in Greece, and they know that if Persia conquers Athens, Sparta will be next. Legend says that the generals sent their fastest runner, Pheidippides, to run the 140 miles to Sparta. But would the Spartans come? And could they arrive in time? The generals started for Marathon with all 10,000 Athenian men of fighting age, joined on the way by 1,000 Greeks from another, smaller polis. The Persian army, many times their number, swept towards them from the other direction. Meanwhile, the Athenian runner, Pheidippides, reached Sparta, where, to his horror, the Spartan kings told him, "This is a religious holiday. We cannot come to your aid until it ends tomorrow night." Pheidippides set out once more. Reaching Marathon, he reported, "The Spartans cannot come." The generals were stunned. "Then we must beg for mercy." But Miltiades, the general who previously had spoken boldly, said, "It is too late. The Persians will not stop now until they have destroyed us." The 10 generals voted, should we fight or surrender? Each side received 5 votes. Miltiades turned to Callimachus, the civilian. "The decision rests with you, but remember, if we surrender, democracy will disappear from the world." For more titles from Jim Weiss and Well-Trained Mind Press, please visit us at jimweiss.com or welltrainedmind.com. Thank you for listening.